After two jumping points remain over due to an energy surge, Nick Fury sends both Monica Rambeau and Carol Danvers to investigate them, and once they enter in contact with the anomaly, their powers and existence gets entangled with the ones of Kamala Khan, and that means they are forced to work together in order to save the day. Hello everyone, welcome back to Wikos, name is Luke Ripa, and welcome to the review for The Marvels, the latest installment in the Marvel Cinematic Universe directed by Nia DaCosta. I'm gonna start by saying that yes, Marvel Studios has been in a creative slump since after Spider-Man No Way Home. They have been doing too many TV shows, and just a few of them are actually good, namely WandaVision, Loki both season, review coming soon, and thankfully Miss Marvel. And I say thankfully because Kamala Khan is in the Marvels. The other thing that I can say about the Marvels, which is an actual good thing, is that of course if you watch the other movies you're gonna enjoy more this one. However, you don't have to watch any of them in order to understand the story, which I thought was pretty neat and pretty welcome into such a big universe. The other thing that I definitely consider as another plus is that this movie feels way more personal to Carol Danvers than her solo movie did. If you remember Captain Marvel, it all revolves around the fact that she forgot everything and that she tries to remember everything, and that a bunch of the plot revolves around saving the Skrulls. So while definitely everything was going on revolving around her, at the same time, there was a detachment that was pretty significant into having people dislike the movie, especially because up until that point, all the solo movies, especially the origin movies, were very personal stories. Just look at Doctor Strange, Iron Man, etc. Whereas Captain Marvel, again, because of the memory loss, it felt the character was quite detached from the story. Here in the Marvels is quite different because one, you have Monica Rambeau, basically her niece or her acquired niece, so to speak. She used to call her Lieutenant Trouble in Captain Marvel, and also the villain in this movie, which is not one of the best villains ever written, to use an euphemism. She exists because of her, basically. Therefore, her involvement in the whole story is much more personal and much more emotional than it was in the first movie. The next plus will come to no surprise to anyone who watched Miss Marvel, but Iman Vellani's Kamala Khan is absolutely the best part of the movie. She really lights up the screen, she's very charming, she acts really like a teenager, she's genuinely funny, she's written very well, she's acted very well, and I was really happy to see her interact with a major MCU character. And that's not to say the other two Marvels don't shine. I mean, Brie Larson, she's a really good actress, and she confirms that here. She's not as openly emotional as Kamala Khan is, of course, that's part of her character, but at the time she is, they really land and they really feel special because she's generally a stoic character. I mean, not really stoic, maybe that's the wrong word, but she's quite detached. And the same can be said about Teyonah Parris, who plays Monica Rambeau. She suffered quite the trauma because of the blip, and she still blames Captain Marvel for some of it, and that's quite the point in the story. So she's also quite reeled in terms of emotional openness. The biggest negative is the villain. Dar-Benn is played by Zoe Ashton. She does the best she can do with what she's given, but her writing is pretty much one-dimensional. In hindsight, I wished her writing was much deeper because again, that relationship allows for something better than we have here. One criticism I read around that quite baffles me is the fact that they call the plot a mess. I'll be honest with you, as a screenwriter, I mean, not professional yet, but it didn't feel a mess at all. It felt small, it felt self-contained, it felt simple, like I said at the beginning of this review, but it felt very much focused in that simpleness. Sure, the reason why their powers get tangled up, not all that much clear. It's very much a plot device to justify a very cool dynamic that allows for very cool action sequences. So in other words, it's more or less the same thing with the enchantment from Spider-Man No Way Home. It doesn't really make all that much sense, but it's a plot device to kick off both the nostalgia and Tom Holland's Spider-Man journey through the movie. But again, the Marvel's plot is anything but a mess. It's pretty much focused, pretty much self-contained, and that's definitely a plus. Other impressive things throughout the movie is the ocean planet. Without getting into spoilers, I thought that was pretty original and overall pretty entertaining and well shot. As I said, the entanglement dynamic allows for very cool action sequences, which otherwise would have been pretty much by the book. Going into technical details, Nia DaCosta here showcases how she can fit into a blockbuster production. Her direction here didn't blow me out of my seats like her direction in Candyman did. It's still pretty pretty good, and it definitely makes their name suitable for bigger production from now on. There's not much more to say about the Marvels. If not, one last thing, the running time is just 1 hour and 45 minutes, so alongside with the self-contained plot and the strong performances that you can find in this film, it makes it for a good movie that it's a welcome addition and somewhat refreshing given how much everything else is entangled with the multiverse saga. It also feels somehow fresh. Overall, I give The Marvels a 7.5 out of 10. Not the best MCU movie, but far from the worst. And it makes you want to see them more in the future in the franchise. Of course, there is a mid-credit scene, there is only one, and stay in for that, and maybe we'll talk about that in the spoiler talk video we'll do about both these and Loki Season 2 finale. Did you watch The Marvels? What did you think about it? Do you agree with my score? Let me know down in the comments. If you liked the video, leave a like and share it with anyone who could be interested by it. Also remember to follow Wikos on all social media. We are on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok and Twitch. Name's Luke Ripa. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time.